What's going on, guys? Travis with REC Garage, and in this episode video, whatever it is, hopefully we're gonna get the firewall in place. I know last video I did the beads in the firewall with the sandwich plates, hammer forming, all that stuff. So now I am prepping the opening for the firewall. All right, so I already went along and trimmed this flange here on each side. It was a little too big and wasn't allowing the whole firewall to sit in properly. So fix that. And I also went along and I'm starting to fill the spot weld holes, only the ones that didn't hit the flange at all. These on the sides here where I had to trim that flange, they were almost too far down. Even on the original firewall, half of the spot weld was on the flange, on the actual firewall, and the rest was just on the sheet metal here. It was weird cutting it. So this side, pretty much took care of them already. And this side, I did 3 of them, quickly filed it off, and now I gotta file off the 3 remaining, and a couple other things like down here I never finished that connection. I gotta weld that up. These 3 spot welds where I thought there was one, and I kind of went crazy and chewed it up trying to find where the actual spot weld is. So I'll just fill that whole thing. And the same kind of thing on this side. This section here didn't quite meet up. I don't know what the heck went on here, so I'm going to cut that off probably up here, create a little square rectangle piece to go in there, weld it all up, flush it smooth. Then I also got some random holes on the side of the cowl. So another couple of holes here. Just the more you look at things, project like this, you see more and more. It's like, what? There's another hole I gotta fill? Is this I gotta do? Is this? It's crazy the amount of work that's in, I don't know, just what I do, I guess. Rust repair and fixing the old vehicles that a million things have been done to. Like, why these holes are even here? Maybe an antenna of some sort. The other ones, why don't they match the other side? And there was 3 giant holes in this side. Like, what was there? I don't know. There wasn't any holes from the before we got it blasted, so that was just filled with Bondo. I don't know, but I'm gonna go along, start filling all those holes, and I'll catch you back when it's time to start fitting that in for good. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have the firewall pretty much buttoned up, clamped in place. I'm just going to do some measuring quick to make sure everything is square and where it's supposed to be, like the middle is lined up with the middle of the cowl. Then I'm going to just tack, maybe not tack it, but just a few of these holes weld up. I'm not going to weld all of them up. Weld a few and kind of see if everything's looking correct with the clamps off it. Because I don't want to rush and, you know, weld this thing in when I mess something up. I don't think I did, so I'm gonna go for it. All right, so here we are. You saw me welding it up over here, grinding it off, then getting those hood stays off of the original Firewall and riveted to the new Firewall. So that's all set. I just had my wife help me with these two. Forgot to record. I can't really reach my arm in there and do it correctly. So now the Firewall is pretty much done. I know I said I was going to wait and do it. It kind of makes no sense. If I'm going to weld it anyway, like there's, you know, I'm stuck anyway. So might as well just weld the whole thing. And there's nothing I really need to take apart off the Firewall that's going to hinder anything. So you can see all the welds in there, penetrated on there. Nice. And the heads of those rivets from the back side on the bottom, right there. So, actually, I forgot. The only thing I didn't do yet is weld down here, and I'm gonna do that with a spot welder because I had to fill these holes because the flange didn't reach it for some reason. Maybe the flange on the original Firewall was a little taller. This was kind of set down more probably because those holes just totally missed, so I had to seal those up. So I think I'm going to do that now. Rip the spot welder from under the bench and hit these quick. I don't know. I'll mark it out and do like 4 or 5 or something like that across there. And then I think it should be done at that point. I'll just need whatever bracket that I'll have to drill those holes out to put that on, but I'll do that later. I'm not sure if that middle hole's a spot weld or not. It might be. Let me check. Okay, yeah, that's center. This center here is actually a spot weld, so I need to do that. So I'll take care of all that right now. And then I was gonna cut out some circles to fill these holes, but I have to do a bunch of circles on the back end. So Bob Drake actually makes a hole filler kit. It's a 200-piece kit of 18 gauge circles of I think 5 or 6 different sizes, and it's like perfect because it's really a pain to cut out a circle that's perfect. So if they're already perfect circles, it just makes welding and finishing those so much easier. So I'm gonna wait until those come in. It should be here like Friday or something. But I know I could just cut out a circle and get it done. But when I have those perfect circles, it's just going to make the job so much easier, and it's just going to be worth it. So if you do a lot of filling holes and stuff, get that Bob Drake kit, unless you have a tool that punches out circles for you, which I do not. So let's get on the spot welding. All right, so now spot welded, riveted, convertible feet are riveted on there, and spot welded to the feet. So everything riveted to the side, all nice the way it's supposed to be. So now the firewall section, let me think about it for a second. Yes, it's done. Okay. There's no holes I need to fill, no cracks I need to do. Everything's riveted, everything's welded. So right now there's only the 2 carriage bolts on the very front of the cowl. Nothing over here yet. And this thing is solid. So we're moving in the right direction. I like when this happens. Same thing happened when I was working on the sedan delivery. Everything was kind of, you know, moving around while I was working on it. Everything's kind of, you know, loosey-goosey. Then you do a couple things, you work on it for half a day, and it's like, okay, wow. Not afraid anymore. This thing is solid. So now that that's solid, I'm going to throw some bolts down in the front brackets, and also maybe not yet. I think I'm going to drill those holes in this guy because there's a carriage bolt underneath it. I haven't drilled those out yet. I think I'm going to do that after I hang the doors. So I'll hang the door. When it gets time, I'll hang the door and get everything sitting where it needs to be, lock it down in the front, and then drill the hole in there and set that where it needs to be. Because I could probably push the, maybe, yeah, maybe not. This cowl is pretty solid right now. I can't really move too much, but that might give me some adjustment there, so I'm not going to touch it just yet. And I don't know if they're in the correct spot. They could kind of maybe, the cowl might have to move like this, or I don't know yet, so I'm not going to drill those quite yet. But yeah, I guess now after this is done, I can move back on to the inner wheel wells. I was just waiting to get the dies, that's why I started that, and then move back up to the cowl. So now the beads are in, the holes are filled, everything's done. Feels good. Feels real good. It feels like everything's really coming together. The whole cowl is not done. Just I need to do these holes like I was talking about before. But after that, I really think it's finished. So just those 3 holes there. There's nothing on this side. There was tiny ones, so I made the. I ended up filling those. But the other side, they're bigger holes, so I'm waiting for that kit from Bob Drake. Other than that, I don't know. It's kind of all we got going right now. All right, so I'm going to end the video there. Kind of at a real solid, good point to end it. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching. That's all I got. Later.